Hello, this is topic 6-5. We're just spending a little more time talking about factoring. Uh, you should be able to do these first two on your own. Uh, Feel free to pause the video, do these, and then double check your answers with mine. But we're going to use the box method here. And so our first term goes in the first box, our last term in the last box, and then we need a product and a sum. Well, my product would be this times this would be negative 30 x squared, and my sum is the middle term, which is a negative 1x. And I want to know what multiplies to negative 30 and adds to negative 1. Well, I'm thinking about this, and I know that 6 and 5 are 1 different, so it's got to be these two. And since my sum is negative 1, my 6 needs to be negative. So that gives me a negative 6x and a positive 5x. There's no need to list all the factors here if I can jump straight to the one that I know is right. Well, I know that x times x gives me x squared. X times a negative 6 for negative 6x. X times 5 for 5x. And 5 times negative 6 gives me negative 30, meaning my factors are x minus 6 and x plus 5. Moving on to the next one. First term, last term, product and sum. Well, my product would be 20m squared. My sum is a negative 9m. What multiplies to 20 and adds to 9? Well, I know that 4 plus 5 make 9, and 4 times 5 make 20. Because it's negative, that means these both have to be negative in order for it to multiply to a positive 20. So negative 4m, 5m means m and m, negative 4 and 5. So my factors are m minus 4 and m plus 5. Now, the coefficient in both of these would happen to be 1. I'm just going to write that it's 1 in both problems. And then we study our factors. We look for a pattern, and the pattern is that we find two numbers that multiply to the third term and add to the second term. 6 and 5 make 30. Negative 6 and 5 make negative 1. 4 and 5 make 20. Hold on, this needs to be minus, not plus. 4 and 5 make 20. Negative 4, negative 5 make 9. Now this is great for whenever you have 1 as your leading coefficient. In fact, it means that we don't even have to use the box method. Let's go ahead and do these next few mentally. That means no boxes. Well, my coefficient is 1, so what multiplies to 14 and adds to 9? Well, that would be 2 and 7. So b plus 2 and b plus 7, because everything is positive, everything down here stays positive. Negative 24. All right. Well, for negative 24, I know that, well, I know it's 2 and 12. That doesn't get me 5. 3 and 8. Well, that will. And I need my 3 to be negative because I want a positive 5. So that means it's a minus 3 and a plus 8. Come over here, we've got 18. I want to add up to 9. Well, 2 and 9 don't do it, but 3 and 6 will. And if they're both negative, I get a positive 18 and a negative 9. So p minus 3 and p minus 6. And here, this is a difference of squares. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 49 is 7. And so this is 2x plus 7 and 2x minus 7. The plus and the minus because it's a difference of squares. And notice while I showed just a little bit of work, you can conceivably do this in your head without showing any work. Now, the only way that this is okay is if there is a 1 as the coefficient, or we're looking at a difference of squares. Let's look at a couple more. Up here, 1 is my coefficient. What multiplies to 12 adds to negative 7? Well, I know that would be 3 and 4, both being negative. So x minus 3, x minus 4. And here, they gave us a coefficient of 2. So if your coefficient is not 1, if it's 2, then I want you to go ahead and use the box method. It would be 2k squared, negative 12, product and sum, product of a negative 24k, sum of a negative 5k. So we're looking at 24, and I know 24 is 3 times 8. Since it's negative 24, that means I can have a negative 8. So this would be 3k, negative 8k. Now to get the 2k, I need 2k and k, so I'm going to put 2k and k. The 2 here because it matches with the 8, which means I need a negative 4 here to give me 8, and a 3 here to give me 3. And so my factors are 2k plus 3 and k minus 4. Again, if your coefficient is not 1, I want you to go ahead and use the box method. Don't try to do this one mentally. Now, besides just learning that, hey, we can do some of these in our heads without having to do a whole lot of work, we're also going to apply these to geometric problems. The first one is pretty standard. They give us a trinomial and call that the area. And we want to find the length and the width. Well, area equals length times width. So that means I need to find what two things multiply to give me this. I need to find my factors. 3x squared, negative 6. Product and sum of my product. 3 times 6 is negative 18x squared. My sum is a negative 7x. Well, I know that's 2 and 9. With a negative 9 because I need a negative 7. Gives me 2x. Negative 9x. 103x has to go here so that I can multiply by a negative 3 and get negative 9. Meaning that x goes here and a 2 goes here to get 2x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And so my length and my width, well, one of these is 3x plus 2. And the other is x minus 3. Those are my length and my width. And so that's actually the hardest of these that follow. I'll show you why these other ones are easier. Again, I need to factor. I want to know the length of each side of a square. I know that's 4x squared, and I know that's 9. And I can worry about a product or sum, but I want you to think about squares. A square means that this has to be the same as that. Well, I know that 2x times 2x will give me 4x squared. And I know that 3 times 3 will give me 9. because I have the same sides, I was able to figure this out without even looking at product or sum. And so the length of one side would just be 2x plus 3. Fairly simple. Now for example number 10, we're going to set it up the same way. Start with our box. 14x squared negative 40. But they tell us the width. So I'm going to go ahead and just plop that down right there. 7x plus 8. Means I don't need to figure out the rest of this. What times 7x are going to be 14x squared? Well, that will be 2x. And what times 8 will give me negative 40? Well, that would be a negative 5. And I don't even need to know what these are. Okay, I don't even need to know product or sum. They gave me this piece, which means that this is my answer, 2x minus 5. And I don't need to fill out the rest of the box. And now for our last example, we're told that a rectangle has a length of this, a width of this. They gave us the factors. We are given the factors. This just means that we will use the box method to multiply this out. So the 4x plus 3, 5x minus 2, well, that gives us 20x squared, 15x negative 8x and negative 6. Those two will combine, meaning we have 20x squared plus 7x, because negative 8 plus 15 is 7, minus 6. And this is our answer. So we're just taking another look at factoring, trying to expand where we can use it, make it a little bit simpler, save you a little bit of work so you don't have to do the whole box, or in the earlier problems, need to do the box at all. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.